Okay, good morning. It looks like we have 9 o'clock. So this is the monthly meeting of the Fairfield Glade Community Club Board of Directors will come to order. This morning's meeting is open to all members of the community club and is being recorded for viewing on the community club website. We are also live streaming this morning's meeting for member viewing. To honor America, please join me in standing for the Pledge of Allegiance and a moment of silence to remember those who are serving uniform and defending freedom. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Pat, would you please call the roll of the board members?
Ms. Anderson? Mr. Cox?
Here.
Mr. Floral?
Here.
Mr. Horn?
Here.
Mr. Jones?
Here.
Mrs. Storr?
Here.
Mr. Wedgeworth?
Here.
Mr. Chairman, there are 6 board members present that hold the unanimous quorum.
Thank you, Pat. May I have a motion to approve the minutes of the prior board meeting held on July 27th of 2023?
Motion to approve the July 27th minutes.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Is there any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? The minutes of the July 27th, 2023 board meeting are approved, Pat. This morning we have in the audience, we have Mayor Alan Foster. We have affectionately called Mrs. Mayor, and the representative from Representative John Rose is here. So good to have you in the audience, Rebecca. Good to see you. Mr. Mayor?
I call the ball, so I'm ready. As I was taught so many years ago, thank you for having me out today. I appreciate it. 2 very brief updates. The county did pass our budget since last year. A couple of the highlights: no tax increase. The tax rate is still $1.13.5, which is, when you take into special school districts, it is the lowest in the state, unless someone has surprised us and lowered their rate in the last week or so. But it is the lowest in the rate. We were still able to do 6% across the board. Wage increases. We bought ambulances, fire trucks, and patrol cars, and we're getting some part-time help in the Veteran Services Officer's office. With the backlog is amazing in that office, and they do such a phenomenal job for our veterans here. We've got some part-time help that'll be coming on to help with that backlog. So if you know a veteran that needs assistance, have them to reach out to our VSO office and they will take care of them. I've mentioned before, the county is taking over our own building codes inspections, and that is starting in January. We are actively looking for a director, so if you know anybody that's interested, have them to reach out to me. Want to get that job right. Last little thing I wanted to mention is that We Are One is a community event that's going on at our community complex this weekend, this Saturday, from 9 to 1, and it's designed to help needy families. It focuses on kids, but it's for needy families in general. If you know anybody that you would like to refer to it, they're having all kinds of free things, from groceries to haircuts, family pictures, shoes. They're even serving free lunch, and I think they've got a bouncy house if anybody wants to get in there with me. I'm probably going to pass on that one, but that's all I have today. Thanks again for having me. If there's any questions.
Can you give us an update on the courthouse renovation?
I started to, and I didn't know if y'all cared or not, so I took it off. But yes, I'm happy to. It is the bidding. We're about to bid fairly quickly on the repair portion. It's going to be done in two portions. The repair to the structures, they found good things. They're not going to have to leave big ugly poles when it's done, but they're going to have some more to support the structure because of the clock on top of it. While they're doing the repairs, they can repair the beams in place. They're going to fix the pockets. The nice, pretty 1905 parapet wall is going to come down, and that's one of the source of leaks, and one of the chimneys are coming out. That's a source of leaks. And they're going to get that up, and when the structural repairs are done, it's just going to be a big old ugly stripped down room. And we've got another set that'll come in and do the remodel, and we're gonna remodel things from all 3 floors. We're gonna get it ADA compliant, get a good courtroom meeting for the commission meetings. And the thing that was approved the other day, it was recommended that HVAC in the whole place be replaced while the walls are peeled back and everything, and they've agreed to do that. So it's going to be a while before it's done, but work should start, I'm hoping, this year. It's taking a long time, but thanks for asking. Anything else? Yeah.
I talked with Cameron Sexton's office about the ugly weeds growing along Peavine Road in the sidewalk cracks and the gutters. And they called back and said that they were going to take care of it and contact you, because they said the contract for the maintenance wasn't with Rogers Group, it was with the county, and you were responsible for it. I did notice last week they were there cutting the weeds, but as I saw Cameron a couple weeks ago, I said to him, not only do they need to cut the weeds, they need to kill the weeds and fill in the cracks. But what's the status on them killing the weeds and filling them?
I have not been, if they said my office is actually the road superintendent's office.
Yeah, and they've had trouble getting hold of them.
Yes, I have let them know that that has been an issue out here a few times. And like I said, I make sure to tell everybody, the road superintendent, what doesn't work for me, he works for you. And any of the countywide elected officials, they work for themselves independently. And the speaker is correct. It is a function of the road department that should clean those up. And I believe Stanley's aware of it. I didn't even know that he had started the process of cleaning it up, but I can follow up and ask
Would
him.
you?
Sure.
Thank you.
Sure, be glad to. Anybody else?
Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. I'd like to share the following comments from across the board. The board continues the search process to identify and select our new general manager. We expect the search process may take several months. As a reminder, the 2023 annual membership meeting will be held on Friday, September 15th at 10 a.m. It will take place in the center. At the membership meeting, Scott Hartema and Greg Jones will be declared duly elected and seated on the board of directors, each for a 3-year term of office. Additional information regarding Mr. Jones and Mr. Hartema is posted on the Community Club's website. Another successful fish fry was held at the St. George Pavilion on Sunday, August 13th, with just over 100 people attending. A final fish fry is planned for September 10th. In addition, there will be an oyster roast and low country boil on September 24th at the St. George Pavilion. Stonehenge Grill is now offering daily themed specials, which you can view on the Food and Beverage Facebook page or watch for the weekly Food and Beverage e-blast. One final item, the snack bars are now offering salads along with their normal menus. The Community Club continues to work diligently to recruit, select, and train lifeguards as we move towards implementation of our lifeguard program. As a reminder and a reassurance, all pools will operate as they have in the past for members and guests with no interruptions, and the Tennessee Health Department does not require us to have lifeguards at the marinas. The Strategic Planning Committee continues to work with private club associates on their comprehensive strategic planning engagement to deliver a strategic plan document designed to grow, change, and evolve with time. Included in the process will be an analysis of emerging trends among similar communities and an examination of our facility use data, along with forecasting of future needs. A regular membership communication plan is also a component of the planning process. The PCA team reviewed a draft of the 2023 Strategic Planning Member Survey Report and the proposed vision statement, mission statement, and brand positioning statement with the Board of Directors and the Strategic Planning Committee on Tuesday, August 22nd. The final 2023 Strategic Planning Member Survey Report is expected sometime in September. Our new Strategic Planning Committee is engaged with PCA, and once our strategic plan document is completed, presented to the membership, and approved by the board, the committee will be charged to develop and update a work plan to be reviewed annually by the board to recommend annual revisions to the plan document. Members who would like to share comments regarding the strategic planning initiative can reach out to the team by sending email messages to the team at strategicplanning@fairfieldglade.cc. Information concerning the strategic planning team is also available on the Community Club website. The Druid Hills project team continues to work on the planning process to determine what the next Druid Hills clubhouse facility should provide for our growing community. Both parties, Fairfield Glade Holdings and the Community Club, have executed the simultaneous conveyance of real property agreement documenting the transfer of the .7 acres of Community Club property to Fairfield Glade Holdings in exchange for the 8.5 acres of Fairfield Glade Holdings property to the Community Club. Once the property transfer transaction closes and we receive the deed, initial work on the Druid Hills driving range will begin. Members who would like to share additional comments regarding the Druid Hills project can reach out to the Druid Hills Steering Committee and the subcommittees by sending email messages to the committees at druidhillsprojects@fairfieldglade.cc. Information concerning the Druid Hills project is also available on the Community Club website. Representatives from the Community Club Board of Directors, the Fire Department, and their Board of Directors, and the Major Capital Projects Committee continue to meet regularly. The preliminary requirements for both tenants of the Emergency Services Building have been identified, and a preliminary space plan is now being reviewed. And that is our August update from across the board. Before we move into the regular agenda, I want to take this opportunity to thank John for his years of service to the community. He is an individual that has been extremely focused on the future of the community. This is John's last meeting as a member of the board. He has been both a trusted colleague and an exceptionally good friend. So, John, I thank you for your service to the community. And for those of you that want to meet your new director, Scott Hartema is with us again this morning, so he is in the audience as well. And as I said, both Scott and Greg will assume their new duties at the annual membership meeting on the 15th. With that, we'll turn to the treasurer's report. Bruce?
Good morning.
Morning.
Okay. I'm going to read from the handout. I would remind you that the numbers in parentheses are corresponding to the sheets on attached corresponding sheets, so follow along. The Fairfield Glade Community Club finished the first 7 months of 2023 in a strong financial position. In sewer, we have $4 million total cash compared to $4.5 million at the end of July 2022, which is a negative variation of $450,000. For the Property Owners Association and amenities, we have $3.9 million of capital cash, $8.1 million of operating cash for a total of $12 million POA and amenity cash compared to $9.4 million at the end of July of 2022, which is a positive variation of $2.7 million. For cash flow, sewer ended July with a positive cash flow of $398,000 with a year-to-date negative variation of $541 compared to budget. Revenues for July was unfavorable by $52,000, primarily due, as mentioned to previous reports, to a lower commercial fee of $24,000 due to the budget being based on overestimated revenue, which was based on the fourth quarter of 2022 consumption that included 2 undetected water leaks. A higher percentage of new home starts were budgeted for the first half of the year versus the second half of the year, and were slower home starts income from new homes is less than budget, with tap fee income unfavorable by $26,000. This should balance out as we progress through the second half of the year. Sewer materials and supplies were positive budget $61,000. due to favorable costs related to grinder pumps, while repair and maintenance was negative $35,000, driven by unfavorable equipment expenditures. For the POA, Properties Owners Association, they ended July with a positive cash flow of $577,000, which is a positive variance of $863,000 compared to budget, driven mostly by positions not being filled as budgeted and savings in work hours, few hours with less overtime, resulting in a positive variance of $420,000. I mentioned before, road paving has not started, which contributed to an additional $400,000 to the positive variance to date, but we expect to be expending that money during the second half of the year. For amenities, we ended the first 7 months of the year with a positive cash flow of $378,000, which is a positive variance of $301,000, better than budget. Food and beverage has a positive variance to budget of $179,000 through July, while golf was positive to budget $111,000, driven by 7,600 rounds, more favorable to budget. Overall, POA amenities ended the first 7 months of the year with a positive cash flow of $915,000, which is $1.2 million better than budget. Any questions? Thank you.
Thank you, Bruce. The next item on the agenda is the general manager's report. Bill?
I continue to work with the wonderful SMTs. Look for the microphone.
Yeah, there's that. And then let's make sure you're
Yep.
you're good.
Okay. Continue to work with our wonderful SMT team. They are, I've got a lot of fantastic people here. Tomorrow morning at our weekly meeting, I'm going to be doing a presentation on goal
You gonna-
setting.
Careful. I would just hold it in front, though. It might be easier.
I'll be doing a presentation, well, now it's gone, on goal setting and how we're gonna go through the goal setting process. And I'm looking forward to that. We're gonna work on goal setting, including budgets and also operational goals. And this will be a regular exercise that we go through. And I would also like to say that yesterday we had a great presentation by Bobby Jones-Lees. And I'm really looking forward to the vision and where we're going to be going with that as well. So lots of great things on the horizon.
Okay, thanks, Bill. The resort report, Barb.
Good morning. Wyndham timeshare visitors, month to date, 3,960. Year to date, 38,100. As far as timeshare revenues, the center, 102,154, which is 32% of like revenue. Racket, 17,305, 8%. Dartmoor, 77,976, which is 40%. St. George, 65,713, which is 43%. Golf, 403,789, which is 9%. Food, 235,659, which is 13%, with a total of 902,546, which is an average of 13% of like revenue. We are up 110,000 from year to date of 2022. Thank you.
Thanks, Barb. So we'll get a little extra work out of John this morning. He'll do the architectural control report. this
Yeah, the
morning.
architectural
Sam.
control report, miscellaneous approvals, which means changes to exterior on homes. Through July, we've had 1,248. Last year, we had 1,102. That's an increase of 13%. New homes approved, current is 65. Through July of last year was 78. That's a 16% decrease. New homes started last year through July this year through July, is 61. Last year it was 68 through July. That's a decrease of 10%. And new homes completed This year, we're at 72 through July. July of last year, we were at 74, and that's a decrease of 2%.
Okay, thanks very much, John. Okay, under unfinished business, we have one item this morning, and John, you
I'm gonna-
had
yeah, I'll
something
do
you
that one
wanted
too.
to share?
Yep. I would like to ask that the motion to reinstate the Vista distribution be amended to include that the Vista and the Glade Sun be given permission to provide additional copies of the current edition of their newspapers at the center, at the library multipurpose building, and at the admin building, those 3 locations only.
I'll second that motion.
Okay, do we have some discussion on it? Okay, then we'll go ahead and vote. Barb, are you in favor?
Yes.
Yes.
Greg? Yeah? John?
Yes.
Okay. John?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, and, all right, very good, then that will carry unanimous, then we will, now, what you need to understand is we're going to ensure that the Vista is available, and so will be the Glade Sun at only those 3 locations. So both papers will be treated equally, but only at those 3 locations. Okay, under new business, I have purchase requisitions to consider this morning. There's the water remediation at the Racket Center for $75,000.
Yeah, I want to offer up a PR for $75,000. We've had some serious water intrusion into the Racket Center during these heavy rainstorms from the north side. We've had several members of the Major Capital Projects Committee, along with a consultant out of the city of Crossville, and Greg Reppert from our maintenance manager here, and myself have looked at this extensively, and along with William from the Racket Center, and we have come up with a plan that we believe will actually keep that water from coming into the Racket Center. So I'm going to, that's the project. It's $75,000 to finish that work. Any questions about it? Okay, John.
Okay, do we have a motion to approve that PR?
I'll make a motion to approve the remediation project at the Racket Center.
Okay, Second, thanks, Greg. Is there any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, the water remediation at the Racket Center PR in the amount of $75,000 is approved. The next item on the agenda is a purchase requisition for the St. George Marina renovation.
Yeah, this is a project we've been working on for a while, and there's a team from the Racket, or the St. George Marine itself. John has been heavily involved in it, along with our maintenance folks and our IT folks as well. So it's a whole product, a complete team project. And so we are going to do a total renovation of the interior of the St. George building. We're going to paint the outside of the building. We're going to redo the wall on the backside to keep from, we've got water intrusion there as well. And so that building's one of the oldest buildings we have. And so we're going to redo that. And so totally give a facelift to St. George. I'm offering up a PR for $369,783 based on 2 quotes. I'll just note that the budget remaining is $460,000, so it's actually going to be $90,000 less than we have currently budgeted. So that project will start when the marina shuts down in October, and will finish before spring. So it'll go over the fall and into the first of the year before we get it finished, but we'll be done by the time we open back up.
Okay, do I have a motion to approve the St. George Marina renovation project?
Yes, I would like to make a motion to approve the St. George Marina renovation for $369,783.
Okay, is there a second to that motion?
I will second.
Okay, is there any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Okay, the motion passes, Pat.
I just have a comment. That's your last hurrah there, John, on the marinas, but
That's a good way to go out.
You've got that at 396,783. Okay, the next item is the Fairfield Glade Resident Services Update. The Honorable Phil Birdsall is here.
He's got some good help today.
Good morning. One of the numerous activities that Fairfield Glade Resident Services is involved in is a monthly public meeting with representatives from the office of our Congressman John Rose. My initial plan today was to take a few minutes this morning to myself explain the purposes and benefits of this program. But a few days ago, it occurred to me that it might be a whole lot better if I could have an actual representative from the Congressman's office to tell you about it. So I made that request. It worked out. And now I'm pleased to introduce to you the District Director of Congressman Rose's office, Ms. Rebecca Foster. I don't know, you'll have to do this for yourself.
I'm sure it'll pick up fine. Thank you. It's good to be with you guys today. I just wanted to let everyone know that we are in the Fairfield Glade Resident Services office on the second Thursday of each month from 11 to 12 o'clock. And it'll either be myself or another staff member. I have some brochures or rack cards if anyone is interested, and I'll leave them at the back for pickup, just to give you an idea of some of the things that we can do on your behalf through Congressman Rose's office. Not only is he a legislator and works with legislative issues, but we also are an advocate for the constituents of the 6th District of Tennessee. And some of the things that we can do to help is to help you to navigate through some of the communications with federal agencies. So we work with the Social Security Office, we work with the Internal Revenue Service, we also work closely with the VSO office here. So sometimes if they're running into roadblocks, they'll contact us to do a congressional inquiry on a veteran's case. We work with passports, which has been a huge thing this last year, just getting passports turned around because they've been backlogged since COVID because they didn't go into the office to work like many of our other federal agencies. So we are able to assist with that. Citizenship and immigration services as well. So there are any federal agency that you might be working with or in contact with and just running into issues with communications, we're more than happy to make an inquiry on your behalf. And so I have some rack cards I'll leave for you there, and also some business cards so you can reach me. But if you would like to come and visit with me, I'm there on the second Thursday of every month. So the next one is September 14th from 11 to 12. Thank you.
Thank you, Rebecca. Appreciate it. All right, one other note, just a reminder again that the Christ Lutheran Church Golf Tournament is Sunday, September 17th out at Dorchester. I point that out always because Resident Services is the prime beneficiary of that fundraiser. There are spots left for golfers, so please register for the event. The entry fee is $85 per person this year. You can just call the FGRS office and let them know what you would like to do. I have heard that you may be able to participate in this event, even if you can't put together a full foursome. Now, I don't golf, so I don't really know what that means, but some of you probably do. A dinner for all players is included in the price and will be held following the tournament at Christ Lutheran Hall. You can call our office at 456-7272. Thank you, folks.
Thank you, Phil. At this time, we'll entertain comments from the floor, and we need for you to step either to the podium or to that microphone stand so that your voice can be picked up on the videotapes. Do you have any comments from the floor? Tom?
I'd like to thank the board for your action on the VISTA after yesterday. I really appreciate you listening and taking action on it. Another point, yesterday, Bruce, we talked about the water remediation at the tennis court or at the racket center. It was pointed out to me that the issue that we had was different than when the center was built and the grading plan and so forth. I'm taking, and I'm still concerned about that because it seems to me, and at least what I heard was the drainage issue started after we've had that new construction. And so if we had a drainage plan for the new, I would have hoped that it would have taken into consideration the surrounding area for the existing building.
We've actually had water intrusion in that building for a long time.
And my point is very concerned about how we go about doing this for other projects, Druid and so forth, that were comprehensive in nature.
I understand the concern. I do.
It's extremely costly to be able to have to go back, as you know.
Okay, do we have any other member comments? If not, then we'll move to comments from the board. John, you have?
Yeah, I have a couple. Yesterday, the board reviewed a couple of proposed policies, changes to policy. One is the variance waiver and appeal policy. The board has agreed to send that out for 30 days review, so that'll go out late this week, early next week for you to review that. Also, we're introducing a new policy. It's called the shed policy, and that's going to enhance the current shed request form that's currently used to do that. The shed policy will provide further guidance on location of the sheds and the screening that's required for sheds. So both of those policies will go out for review here shortly. But also a huge thanks to the ACC committee, the ACC subcommittee, most importantly, who has spent hours on these policies. A lot of work goes on there that you don't get to see as a resident, but these individuals have really contributed a lot of time and talent to these policies. So please, and you'll have an opportunity to comment on those policies also. Thank you.
Those two policies will be considered at the September Board of Directors meeting. Any other comments?
Yeah, I've got a couple. First of all, Mayor Foster, that bouncy ride sounded better and better to me, as long as it's padded and I don't get hurt, okay? So make sure I know where that is. I want to give you an update on where we are with Druid. I gave this yesterday, but some of you were not here, so I'll go ahead and give it today. Everything, as Ken pointed out and across the board, has been signed. It's sitting with the title company now for the land transfer. That's the last piece of this before we start actually work with the golf course. And Jeff, I know you're waiting for that phone call, and since I'm going to be out of town next week, if I don't get it to you by today, Bruce is going to get it to you by hopefully either tomorrow or the early next week. So the next thing that the committee is going to be working on is putting together what we're calling the business case for what we plan on doing over in Druid. The steering committee will be meeting on that the week after next. We look at the justifications for what is going on there in three groups. One will be the financial justification. Why do we financially have in that building what we think we need to have in that building? Number two will be the business justification, which is the reason why, the efficiency, what it is we plan on making the building do because we have those facilities there. And the final one, we're going to try to look at what the long-term implications are, because we're building this building not for 5 or 10 years, we're hopefully building it for 50, 75 or more. So we're going to look at those three conversations. That's the conversation eventually we're going to have with the community. What we've done to get to that point is we've taken everything we've gotten from the surveys, everything we've gotten from the town halls, everything we've gotten from the emails, everything we've gotten from the focus groups, and we meshed that out together with the subcommittees and the steering committee to come up with what we believe is the building that meets those requirements. Now, we still got work to do before we get this in front of all the members, because at that point we need to be able to have answers to those three areas that I just talked about: financial, business, and long-term. So that's what the committee is going to be working on next. That will not be a slow news meeting for this community, and I want you to encourage you to keep your eyes open for when that notice comes out that that meeting is going to be taking place, because many of you are either going to want to be there or live stream it, which will be live streamed. So we're encouraging you to stay engaged with us and make sure you have your questions answered, and we'll do our level best to make sure that we can answer all your questions. Or if we can't answer them at that meeting, we'll get the answers for you, because we're getting very close here about moving forward with that area. The final thing that I wanted to bring out is a commercial. Many of you participate, hopefully, in the marathon. It's truly becoming more and more of a county marathon now. If you take a look, and it was in the Glade last night or the Vista yesterday, I can't remember which one I saw, but they listed all the trails. There are county trails in there, there are Crossfield trails in there are Fairfield Glade trails in there, and there are state park trails in there. So we've got a real good conglomeration of all of those entities. So you're going to get a chance to see some things like especially in the Crossville Trail, some that just got finished, that you haven't had a chance to see before. So I encourage you to go in and sign up. I think there's a lot of people that are interested in this because we opened up the registration last week, and in the first 2 days, we had over 800 registrants. That's pretty doggone good. So we want to blow the top off this year and make it a much bigger thing than it has been in the past. It gives everyone in this community an opportunity to go out and see the beauty of our areas and actually see some areas even within the city and the county that you may not have seen before. So please look out, get registered, have a good time. It's not that taxing. We have people, matter of fact, I remember 2 years ago running into a lady that's 91 years old who was out doing the marathon. So your excuses are gone, and we expect to see you out there having a good time and enjoying the natural beauty of our whole county. So, thank you.
Any other comments from members of the board? Then I will close with one final comment, and that is we have to apologize to Bruce Horn and his family and friends for keeping him here late last night. We didn't finish up until around 6 last night, and he was late for his birthday party. So I'm sure we will hear from Mary Jane on that. But he did get there, and he left and showed us a picture that they actually had his chair set up with a hot air balloon. So I don't know if that has anything to do with the reputation, Bruce, or not, but we do apologize for keeping you as late as we did. And with that, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll take Ellen Anderson's position and adjourn our meeting.
Okay, is there a second to that
Second.
motion? Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay, the motion to adjourn is passed. We stand adjourned.
Thank you.
Oh, it's a board decision.